From quickly becoming one of the best players on the Lakers roster to literally every team keeping tabs on the 24-year-old, here's how Austin Reaves' free agency could be trouble for the Lakers. Because truth be told, no one thought he'd become the player that he has this season. Austin showed flashes of his brilliance throughout his first season with the Lakers, but it wasn't until the 2022-23 season that Reaves truly became a force. It was a coming-of-age campaign for the young star out of Arkansas who shocked the world with his potential. To think that he actually went unpicked in the draft. It's genuinely remarkable just how far he's come. Reaves was on a different level compared to the rest of the guards on that Lakers team throughout the season. Imagine outplaying a former MVP in Russell Westbrook and the second overall pick of the 2015 season, D'Angelo Russell. Yes, Reaves was that good throughout the season. Problem is, no one saw it coming. And I don't blame Rob Pelinka, the Lakers GM, for being unprepared in this scenario. It's simple. Reaves was not supposed to be as good as he ended up becoming. Of course, it's not like he can be a sole superstar on a roster, but AR has the ability to become a regular starter for years to come for the Lakers. Unfortunately for them, their early season projections about Austin's potential weren't even close to what they'd expected. And now, Reaves is a problem which is only going to get much worse in the summer of 2023. You see, sports in the 21st century are all about calculated risks and projections, especially when it comes to American sports. Take NFL, NBA, or even MLB. Projections of how a player will turn out to be are everything in such a cutthroat industry. Common sense would have you believe that a player becoming better than the projections is a good thing, but like I said, you couldn't be more wrong. It only makes the situation much trickier for these franchises. Every player comes with a huge price tag, and more than what they can do on the court, it's about how much money they're worth, and how much are other franchises willing to pay a player. That's the value, and it can be inflated due to some good performances. In Reaves' case, this doesn't hold true. His value is very much real, and the performances he produced over the 2022-23 season make it obvious for everyone to see. As per the Lakers' projection, Reaves wasn't supposed to be better than a $50 million player in free agency. In fact, the initial estimates had the Lakers thinking that they could make him stay with maybe half of that. But as much of a pleasant surprise it was to see AR blossom into a great player, it's ended up becoming a big problem for the front office to deal with. What they end up doing with Reaves would have serious repercussions on the other business the Lakers would need to do. And Reaves hitting free agency is the biggest problem for the franchise for summer 2023. Of course, the Lakers need to bring in more reinforcements too. They need to find a way to shake up the roster like they did on trade deadline. But with Reaves entering free agency at the conclusion of the 2022-23 season, the Lakers would need to act fast. They still do hold all the cards, so all's not lost just yet. You see, Reaves is a restricted free agent. That means the Lakers will have the chance to match the offer sheet that any other franchise offers him, and that'd allow AR to stay with the Lakers. For that to happen, though, there's an estimate done by the front office, and as per that estimate, the offer sheet would need to be below the $50 million mark. Of course, the Lakers could still choose to match an offer sheet of that amount, but it'd end up compromising some of the other roster-related decisions they'll need to make. Their current roster definitely isn't getting any cheaper. And if they're realistic about adding another defender to their team, as they have been rumored to be in the market for both Dillon Brooks and Draymond Green, then a big contract for AR would throw a spanner in the works. That said, both the franchise and the player are very much on the same page in terms of staying in LA, which is a great start in any negotiation. If you've got both parties wanting the same thing, the remaining negotiations should get considerably easier. At the same time, it's unfair to expect Reaves to be loyal to the Lakers, especially if he's getting a much bigger contract elsewhere. He may be a boyhood Laker fan, but fact of the matter is, he went unpicked only 2 years before his fantastic 2022-23 season in Los Angeles. What if he's unable to hit the same heights? Or worse, what if he gets an injury? What happens then? It's the most sensible decision for Reaves to make, and almost every other NBA player in his position has done just that. So the Lakers would ultimately need to decide, is it worth blowing a big chunk of what they saved from the Westbrook deal on Reaves? Or is it okay to let him go and sign a cheaper replacement while addressing some of their other roster-related issues? All I know is, I'm glad I'm not in Rob Pelinka's shoes to make that decision. because there's no scenario in which they can win. You match the offer sheet worth around $50 million, and Reaves remains in Los Angeles. The Lakers would be unable to add more depth to their defense in the summer. Every single game that AR doesn't perform in will be critically analyzed by fans and analysts alike. If he doesn't fulfill the expectations, fans will blame Pelinka for ruining LeBron James's final few years in the NBA. But if he decides to let Reaves go, it's a story that the Lakers fans have already seen a couple of times, at least in recent history. The front office wouldn't want to make the same mistake and face a similar kind of backlash that they received for letting go of Alex Caruso. He was the perfect player in that Lakers setup, and he personified everything that the Lake Show wanted in the way they played. Letting him go was a disastrous decision, and it cost the Lakers big time. Instead, they splashed the cash on Talon Horton-Tucker, and the less said about him, the better. Something similar went down before that too, with Jordan Clarkson, and given how good he's been since joining Utah Jazz, the Lakers are rightfully worried. Repeating the same mistake with Reaves costs them big time. He's a young talent who's a quick learner. Just look at how comfortable he looked during the 2023 playoffs. He belongs at this stage, and many would argue that Reaves was the Lakers' third best player behind LeBron and AD in 2023. What's even more crazy is that he's been running plays when LeBron and D'Angelo Russell have been on the floor, and the way he's mastered that, and one play tells you all you need to know about his skill level. For what it's worth, it doesn't make things easy for the Lakers, cause he's a fan favorite too. Oh yeah, Reaves has been a breath of fresh air for the Lake Show faithful. Given how long they had to put up with Russell Westbrook, also known infamously as a vampire for sucking the blood out of the dressing room, it's hardly a surprise that fans have taken a liking to Reaves. He's everything that the Lakers have always wanted in a starter, and AR isn't afraid of making the big plays either. So, the front office will need to take into account the fans' feelings when making a decision about AR, because there will be a huge outrage if they plan to let him go. Similar to what happened when Alex Caruso was allowed to walk away in free agency. Unlike the Caruso deal, though, Austin is a player in huge demand. According to an NBA executive, every team in the league wants to sign AR in free agency. This shouldn't shock any Laker fan or the franchise itself, if we're being honest. Reaves has been challenged with a bigger moment at every single step throughout his first 2 seasons, and he's come out on top after every challenge. His playoff debut was exceptional too, and clearly he's a talent who can't be limited to a ceiling. While the Lakers fear that they might have to pay a lot more to Reaves in the free agency than they'd originally planned, they should also be worried about how many other teams are interested in acquiring his services. Fortunately, as I mentioned earlier, this interest from across the league may not turn Austin's head because he wants to play for the purple and gold. Simply put, the Lakers can't be cheap when it comes to AR. Not this summer. According to Dave McMenamin, it's very easy for most franchises to offer Reaves a contract worth $60 million over 4 years. Should that happen? Most analysts don't expect to see Reaves lining up for the Lakers next season. So, from being a man in demand across the league to becoming better than what was originally expected of him, this was why Austin Reaves' free agency could be trouble for the Lakers.